Are you absolutely exhausted by the constant pressure to just be happy all the time? Seriously, what if I told you that trying to force happiness is actually the exact thing making you miserable? Well, welcome to this fast-paced explainer. We're going to bust the biggest myths about happiness, completely rewire your morning routine, and unpack the ultimate, scientifically backed secret to a genuinely fulfilling life. Get ready, because we are moving fast. So, you've definitely seen this phrase plastered on coffee mugs, neon signs, and t-shirts everywhere, right? Good vibes only. And yeah, it sounds great in theory, but here's the hard truth. Expecting to have good vibes only is actually a massive psychological trap. I mean, let's be real. Life is messy. Life is stressful. And trying to just slap a bright, colorful sticker over a genuinely bad day, well, it isn't helping you. In fact, it's pretty much doing the exact opposite. Psychologists actually have a name for this. They call it toxic positivity. Basically, it's this relentless belief that no matter how difficult a situation gets, you should just maintain a perfectly positive mindset. Imagine your car breaks down in the pouring rain, or you're facing serious burnout at work, and someone just looks at you and says, "Hey, just look on the bright side." Forcing a smile when things are genuinely tough just brushes your very real, very human emotions aside. And over time, that emotional suppression leads straight to burnout and anxiety. Okay, let's dive into this because the contrast here is absolutely everything. Toxic positivity demands that you ignore your pain and just stay positive. But the healthier alternative, genuine optimism, gives you full permission to feel your emotions without any judgment. It allows you to look at a massive challenge and say, wow, this is incredibly hard, and I am totally allowed to feel frustrated right now, but I also trust that I'm going to grow from this. Now, when you fall into that toxic positivity trap, you end up creating something called cognitive dissonance. Basically, this is a highly stressful internal conflict between what you actually feel inside and what you are being told you should feel. So when you're sad, but you force yourself to act thrilled, your brain gets totally confused. This gap between reality and expectation, it breeds a massive amount of guilt, self-doubt, and hidden anxiety. Which brings us to the first big hurdle. The mind's sabotage through negative self-talk. And this brilliantly illustrates how it's not just external pressure, like those neon signs, causing this dissonance. Our own minds actually sabotage us through three really common traps. First up, we've got filtering. That's when you have an amazing day, get 10 huge compliments, but you obsess over that one tiny piece of negative feedback. Second is personalizing. That's when a friend cancels dinner and you immediately assume it's because they secretly hate you. And finally, the most dramatic trap of them all, catastrophizing. Look, we have all been guilty of catastrophizing. This is when your brain immediately leaps to the absolute worst-case scenario. You go to the drive-thru, they accidentally give you whole milk instead of oat milk, and suddenly your brain goes, my morning is completely ruined, I'm going to be late, I'm going to get fired, my whole life is a disaster. I mean, it's almost comical how dramatically we react to minor inconveniences, right? But the crazy thing is, it spikes our stress hormones all the same. So how in the world do we stop this negative spiral? Well, the UK's National Health Service recommends this brilliantly simple, almost game-like reframing tool. Catch it, check it, change it. First, you just catch the negative thought mid-spiral. Second, you check it. Literally ask yourself, where is the actual evidence that my life is over because of this coffee? And third, change it to a neutral or positive thought. Like, okay, they got my order wrong, but hey, it's still caffeine. All right, let's move into some actionable solutions with Toolkit Part 1, the Mindful Morning Blueprint. Now that we know how to reframe our thoughts, we need a system that naturally generates a better mood from the jump. The way you start your day totally dictates your mood, and the golden rule here is simply 1 hour. You need absolute zero screen time for at least 1 full hour after waking up. No emails, no doom scrolling, no checking the news. You have got to give your brain the time to wake up, stay present, and actually exist in the real world before you dive headfirst into digital stress. So, the crucial point is, what do you actually do with that hour instead? You write down 3 things. Just 3! Whether you write it in a journal or just mentally list them while you're brushing your teeth, identify 3 specific things you are grateful for. It could be your health, a really good cup of coffee, or honestly, even burnt toast. Forcing your brain to hunt for the good physically rewires your neural pathways so you can spot positive opportunities throughout the rest of your day. And alongside that gratitude, you want to stack these incredibly simple, basically zero-effort morning habits. Let's rapid fire through them. First, wake up gently. Do a quick stretch in bed just to get the blood flowing. Next, hydrate immediately. A glass of water with lemon or chia seeds completely kickstarts your metabolism. Then, step outside for just a few minutes of direct sunlight to reset your circadian rhythm. And finally, set a daily affirmation. Just tell yourself, I am totally capable of handling whatever comes my way today. Boom. Endorphins are flowing and your brain is primed and ready. This brings us to our next strategy. Toolkit Part 2, Life Crafting. Let's move to and see how this builds, because life crafting is this incredibly empowering psychological concept all about taking intentional, active control of your life's direction. It's the total opposite of just letting life happen to you. To do this, you visually contrast two very different futures. On one side, you imagine your best possible future, where you achieve your goals and live your passions. On the other side, you brutally imagine your future if nothing changes. If you just stay stuck, complacent, and inactive. Seeing the heavy consequences of inaction compared to the brilliance of your dreams, that is the ultimate psychological push to get you moving. And the science behind this is just fascinating. When you clearly define your purpose through life crafting, it doesn't just make you feel warm and fuzzy inside, it actually makes it vastly easier to self-regulate your behavior. People with a clear purpose find it significantly easier to make healthier daily choices, stay focused, and bounce back from adversity. You basically stop getting distracted by the small stuff because your eyes are absolutely locked on the big picture.
All right, we have arrived at the climax of the explainer, the ultimate happiness secret.
We've busted the toxic positivity myth, we've fixed your mornings, and we've talked about life crafting. But what actually matters in the end? Well, now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this data comes from an 80-year-long Harvard study. We're talking about one of the most comprehensive studies of human life literally ever conducted. They looked at what actually drives life satisfaction. And guess what? Fame and money, they barely even move the needle. The massive, undeniable driver of health, happiness, and longevity is deep relationships. Genuine connection absolutely trumps everything else. But honestly, here is the very best part. You don't just need lifelong, deep bonds to feel this effect. You can actually build happiness through tiny, effortless, micro moments of warmth and connection every single day. Text a loved one while you're on a walk. Say a genuine hello to your neighbor. Make actual eye contact and smile at the cashier at the grocery store. Or, take the plunge and plan a totally offline weekend with a friend. Every single tiny interaction drops a coin right into your happiness bank. Dr. Robert Waldinger, who is the current director of that incredible Harvard study, summarizes 8 whole decades of research with this powerful, inescapable truth. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Full stop. It is just not about chasing the next big promotion or buying a nicer car or forcing a fake smile when you're having a terrible day. Genuine happiness is built brick by brick through the warmth of human connection. So, I want to leave you with this one provocative thought. Who are you going to connect with today to build your genuine happiness? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Send that text, make that call, or just share a simple smile with a stranger. Your mind, your body, and your future self will absolutely thank you for it. Follow to learn more.